Today's objective is percents and fractions. So first let's do a little bit of English since this is math class. Per means for every. So 3 miles per gallon, we could write it with a fraction bar, 3 miles per gallon, or we could say 3 miles for every gallon. But we just say per because it's shorter to say. Cent means 100, as in century, 100 years, cents, 100 pennies. It's usually used as a prefix, but in this one it's used as a suffix. So percent means for every 100. And when you look at a percentage, you are comparing your number to 100. So when you look at your test, it might say 18 out of 20 equals 90%. That's because I have changed it to be out of 100. All right, well, it's very easy to change from fractions to percents if the denominator is 100. And it's easy to change a percent to a fraction. So let's do some. If I have 89 over 100, I just take off the 100 and write it as a percent. You could actually think of it as writing your 89 and then taking your 100 and doing the 0, the 1, and the 0. Pretty clever, huh? All right, 43 over 100, 43%. Your 100 can turn into your percentage bar. Symbol, you know what I mean? But what if the denominator does not equal 100? Remember that sign stands for does not equal? Well, see if it's easy to change to 100. So 3/4 equals how many 100ths? Well, 4 times what is 100? Think money. Hopefully you thought 25. So 3 times 25 is 75. So 3/4 is 75 hundredths, or 75%. 7/10, we should write that, equals 75%. My writing is so much better when I'm not doing it sideways. 7/10, is that easy to change to 100? Yes, 10 times 10, so 7 times 10, 70%. Then you would just write, 70 hundredths. So you would just write, I'll put it up here, 70%. What about 12 25ths? 25 times what is 100? How many quarters are in a dollar? Right. Hopefully you said 4. 12 times 4? 48 over 100. What percent would that be? 48%. What about 6? Is 6 easy to change to 100? No, it's not. 6 doesn't go into 100, does it? Do you remember the divisibility rules for 6? Or 2 and 3 have to go into it? Well, 2 goes into 100 because the number ends in a 0, but 3 does not go into 100 because 0 plus 1 is 1, and 3 doesn't go into 1. So we're not going to do that one. All right. We'll do that another day. We're just not doing it today. When you change from a percent to a fraction, you need to reduce. You always reduce whenever possible. So 25% equals, we write it over our 100, 25 over 100, and then we're just going the other way now, okay? 25 over 100, divide each piece by 25, 1/4. Hopefully you know that. 70%, well, you just change your percentage back into your 100, 70 over 100. Can you reduce that? Hopefully. 35 50ths. Oh, what else goes into that? 5. How many times? 7/10. What if I hadn't cut it in half and divided by 2? What if I had just taken a 0 off of each one there? That would have been a little easier, huh? So don't always think 2. Think of what's your biggest number you can divide by. 120%. Now this is more than 100%, right? You got extra credit or something. So it's 120 over 100, which is 1 and 20 over 100. And now what can we divide? Well, if I cut these off, I still have 2 over 10. Can you reduce that? Yes, to 1 1/5. Okay, so I wouldn't write it, if it's over 100%, it needs to have a whole number in your final answer. All right, now let's talk about something a little different, probability. Probability, which is the chance of some event occurring, can also be expressed as a percent. So when you have the capital P and something in parentheses like P rain, that means, and you would read it as what's the it means what's the probability it will rain. You would read it as the probability of rain. So here we go. You're flipping a coin. Find the probability, find pH. What does that mean? It means the probability of flipping a head. Well, you have two coins. So your choice is of heads is you have two sides, not two coins. So your chance of flipping a head is 1 over 2. Can 2 change easily to 100? Yes. Do you even need to do it? Hopefully not. Hopefully you can just tell me that this is 50%. What about the probability of flipping a tails? Same thing, huh? All right, now let's throw some dice. Find the probability of an even number. Well, the even numbers, the probability of an even number, the even numbers are 2, 4, or 6, which is 3 of your 6 possible numbers you could get if you were throwing a dice. So 3 over 6, 50%. Now this is one I would, because I know we didn't change the 6 denominator before, but you know that this reduces to 1/2. All right, what about finding the probability of a prime number? What are the prime numbers that would be on a dice? Probability of prime, the primes are 2, 3, and 5. Remember that 1 is not a prime number. Okay, it's neither prime nor composite. And the 4 and the 6 are composite numbers. So once again, we get 3 out of 6, 50%. Now let's find the probability of rolling an even number on one dice and then a prime number on another dice. Okay, when you want to do one then another, you multiply the numbers together. So we know that it was 3/6 over 3/6, or 9/36 when you multiply. Okay, which reduces to 1/4. I could have simplified that first, which we would change to 25%. All right, last but not least, hopefully my voice will last. You can use fractions to find the percentage of a number. So if I say, find 60% of 80, we change our percent to a fraction, 60 over 100. And then we multiply it by 80, and I wrote it as 80 over 1 because they're fractions. Now what do we always do first? Simplify. Okay, these are not probabilities. You cannot, you're not simplifying across an equal sign, but you are simplifying fractions, and so you can simplify vertically or diagonally. It's not a probability, so you can't do it horizontally or vertically. So let's do 80 and 100 first. 20 goes into both of these. 20 goes into this 4 times. 20 goes into this 5 times. Does 5 go into 60? How many times? 12. 5 goes into itself once. 5 goes into 60 12 times. Now we multiply. Okay, 12 times 4, 48. 1 times 1, 1. So it's 48%. It's just a fraction problem. All right, and multiplying fractions are the most fun. They're the easiest. Find 25% of 26. Change your 25% to a fraction. Write your 26 over 1. Now you probably know that 25% is 1/4, but we'll just write it as a fraction over 100 and then reduce it to 1/4. Can I reduce the 4 and the 26? 2 goes into both of those. Now let's multiply. 13, 2 times 1, 2. I'm not in percent land. No. Make this a unit, remember, unit rates. Just divide it, okay? 6.5 over 1. Okay, 6.5%. Pretty cool. Got a decimal in there. All right, last but not least, 30% of 18. 30 over 100. 18 over 1, reduce, 3 tenths, reduce, 5 ninths. Now I can't reduce that 3 and the 9 because those are in both in the numerator. Did I do that right? Yeah. Okay, 3 times 9 is 27 fifths. Oh, what do I do now? Just let's just keep working, okay? 5 goes into 27 how many times? 5 goes into 25 5 times, with 2 left over, 2/5. Oh no, how do I change 2/5? Well, could you make it be 4/10? 5 4/10? So that would be 5.4%. All right, there you go. That's it. I didn't stop it yet, huh? Try it again.